friend saw it and was like, "That's beautiful."
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not at all
wonderful.
I'm not here to judge, but I feel like there's no context where that would happen where it sounds like someone has an orgasm in a public place, and I turn and look, and I'm like, "Aw."
So someone else also says later on, one attendee who was seated in the row directly behind the person who made the noise said it appeared as if the woman was waking up from a sleep attack when she made the sound. I don't know what a sleep attack is. I've never heard of anyone calling it a sleep.
Like,
Obviously.
well, like, is that like the term for narcolepsy when if you fall asleep because you're narcoleptic? Is that a sleep attack? It kind of sounds right to me.
Maybe it is. So the audience member who was seated in the row behind the person said she had previously witnessed a person with narcolepsy experience a sleep attack. Quote, pretty quickly she sort of fell onto her partner's shoulders and then onto his lap, and then her body went limp. Maybe like 5 seconds later she kind of awoke, and that's when she let out a scream. I guess if you're like asleep and you go, yeah, maybe that could be there.
That is what that's called, by the way. A sleep attack is technically what it's called when you fall asleep uncontrollably if you are narcoleptic.
I will say I don't know if you had this person, I'm not going to name them, but we had a teacher, I think in like junior high school, who had narcolepsy, who would fall asleep teaching class.
Oh, Mrs. Dickerson?
Wow.
I can't believe you name dropped them. But I don't ever remember her ever making a noise when she like woke up, because there were times where we like present in class or she'd be teaching and she would just like drop out of it. But I never remember her making a noise when she like came to or stirred or whatever.
That's really interesting. What was the protocol when that happened? I don't really know how.
Somehow it never happened when she was standing, but it happened all the time when she was at her desk.
Did you have to wake her up or something, or was it?
Well, no, because we were shitty junior high kids who were just like, dude, teacher's sleeping, let's do whatever we want. That was the protocol. I was pissed off one time because we had to do book reports, and I did all of this work on this book report, and like she fell asleep during my book report, and I got an A. But then this one kid who didn't even do one also got an A because she couldn't remember if he'd given one or not. Like, it sounds like a joke, but she literally did. None of us were gonna like be the snitch, so none of us said anything.
Who's gonna be that guy?
Yeah, so dude got an A for not doing anything, and I was like, I put a lot of fucking work into that, but I guess whatever, at least I got an A.
Man, fuck your dreams and fuck your nightmares, dude. Maybe you just deserved it.
I was the fucked.
Hey, listen, you learned a lot. I'm sure you remember what book that was and what you learned and what the message of the book was, right? Do you remember all that stuff?
No.
I'm sure you learned a lot of important lessons that are still with you today.
I've recently learned a really important thing that I didn't know.
What's that?
Speaking of weird, it's a little off topic, but then you mentioned it. It sounded like a good segue. Fruit Loops are all the same flavor.
What?
Apparently the different color Fruit Loops, they're all the same flavor. Unless you get like Wildberry. Like the Wildberry Fruit Loops are different, but just regular Fruit Loops, apparently no matter what color it is, it's all the same flavor.
I feel like I remember them tasting slightly different.
In my head, they do too.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tricks do.
Yeah, maybe. They're different fruits. They have to.
Do they have to?
We all agree that all those cereals are just pure sugar in multiple different
They
forms.
are pure sugar, but they were flavored in my head. Like a red Fruit Loop is like cherry or something. Purple's gotta be grape or.
It's like berry flavored, and then like grape flavored, and then they're slight. I remember
they're all the same flavor.
Different.
Why can we get sponsored by again? I miss having. We'll cut this out. We're not getting paid until they bleep us saying the name of it.
Oh, I love having in my mouth. It's so good. I miss them being in my mouth.
I want them to sponsor us, but I'm not gonna do anything until they pay. That's what they do. But I miss because they sent us like giant boxes with like 10 boxes of it.
Dude, I did.
And I was like, oh, how am I gonna get through? And then I ate all of it, and it was amazing. But I'm not saying the name until they pay us money. This is why I never get sponsors. This is why I literally never get sponsors.
No, this is how you grow. This is how you grow your business, Mark. This is how you get people on board.
Yeah.
That's what businesses are looking for. That's interesting, though. This person was a teacher for you guys, but just had that seems dangerous. It's interesting that it wouldn't happen while they were like standing. Probably if you fall asleep while you're standing, at the very least, there's a likelihood that you would like fall over or collapse or something. I would imagine.
You know, for a while there, I thought I had narcolepsy because, I realized this was just an ADHD thing, but when I was in certain situations, like if I was in a meeting when I was working a co-op job, or if I was like in class I could not stay awake. Like, just I would literally be doing anything, and I'd just be like, and I would desperately fight not to stay awake or not to sleep, and it'd just be like this constant struggle. And I thought I was like, man, maybe I'm narcoleptic, but no, that's not what that is.
That's just being a sleepy boy.
It's just being sleepy.
This episode is brought to you by McCafe. McCafe is celebrating